Iran just declared water bankruptcy for 28 million people. But while their taps run dry, these 5 water stocks are up 400%. And if you think this won't affect you, you're about to lose everything. Today, we're diving into the crisis that's making millionaires, while 28 million Iranians are literally dying of thirst. Right now, millions of people in Iran are facing a future with almost no water. Experts are calling it a state of water bankruptcy, and a humanitarian crisis is unfolding. However, while the world watches the disaster unfold, a handful of companies are quietly developing the solutions. And for a small group of investors, this crisis is becoming the opportunity of a lifetime. The situation in Iran is absolutely dire, and it's not some far-off problem that won't affect you. It's happening right now, while the mainstream media keeps you distracted with political theater. Iran's capital, Tehran, has exactly 14 days of water left, according to CNN and Reuters. Think about that. A city bigger than New York with the taps about to run dry. The key reservoirs that supply the capital are nearly empty. The Amir Kabir Dam sits at just 7% of its capacity. Even worse, the Lar Dam, another critical source, is practically gone, with its water level down to just 1%. We're talking about 28 million people without water access, and this isn't some distant problem. Global food supply chains are crashing as Iran can't grow crops anymore. The Iranian president himself said the country is on the brink of a dire water crisis, and when a government that controls oil prices is panicking about water, you know we're in uncharted territory. So what's really going on? It's a perfect storm that's been building for years. For 5 consecutive years, Iran has been hit with severe heat and record-low rainfall, with precipitation this year down as much as 45% below the long-term average in some areas. But this isn't just a climate disaster, it's been turbocharged by decades of terrible mismanagement. The over-extraction of groundwater has gotten so bad that the land itself is physically sinking in 30 provinces, with parts of Tehran dropping by up to 25 centimeters every single year. Add in countless unregulated dams and illegal wells, and you get what experts are now calling water bankruptcy, a point where the damage is becoming irreversible. The 2025 stock market already crashed by 20% back in April, and water is the next domino to fall. But here's what Wall Street doesn't want you to know about this crisis. While Iran burns and 28 million people suffer, water stocks are becoming the new Tesla of the investment world. Here's the shock stat that blew my mind when I was researching this video. AI data centers need 6 billion cubic meters of water by 2027. Every single ChatGPT search you make, every AI image you generate, every time you use Claude or any other AI tool, you're literally drinking water from the global supply. Microsoft's data centers alone consume more water than entire cities. Translation, water is about to become more valuable than oil, and smart investors are positioning now before the masses catch on. This isn't just hype or some trendy investment theme. This is a trend fueled by undeniable forces that are reshaping the global economy. First, governments are being forced to spend massive amounts of money. Second, the demand for desalination is absolutely exploding. With natural freshwater disappearing, turning saltwater into drinking water is no longer a fringe idea. It's a necessity for survival. Iran itself is reportedly planning to invest $4 billion in desalination projects to fight its shortages. Third, and this might surprise you, is the rise of artificial intelligence, creating massive new water demand that most investors don't even realize exists yet. Even Wall Street legends are already positioned in this space and making massive profits. Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short, who predicted the 2008 housing crisis, has been public about investing in what he calls blue gold, water investments. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is neck-deep in utilities and water infrastructure companies. They see what's coming, and they're not waiting for permission from CNBC to make these moves. Let me break down the 5 water stocks that are turning this human tragedy into massive investor profits. And I know that sounds harsh, but this is capitalism, and if you're not making money from global trends, someone else is making money off you. These companies are perfectly positioned to ride this global water wave, and the smart money is already accumulating positions. Stock number 1 is Consolidated Water, ticker symbol CWCO, and I'm calling this the Iran savior play. This is about as pure a bet on the desalination boom as you can find. While the big industrial giants have water divisions, this is all that CWCO does. They design, build, and operate desalination plants, mostly in water-starved places like the Caribbean, where water scarcity is already a daily reality. Here's why it's exploding. Iran is desperately spending $4 billion on desalination projects right now, and CWCO has the expertise that's literally priceless in this market. The secret sauce here is that 177 countries already depend on desalination technology, and that number is growing every single day as climate change accelerates. When Iran's desalination projects come online and prove successful, every other water-scarce nation is going to follow their blueprint, and CWCO is positioned to capture that entire wave of global demand. Stock number 2 is what I'm calling the AI water guzzler solution, and that's Ecolab with ticker ECL. This company has delivered 59.3% returns over the past 2 years alone, and they have strategic partnerships with Microsoft for AI water management systems. Ecolab is a powerhouse in water, hygiene, and energy technology, but its secret weapon is its AI-driven water management platform. Remember those thirsty AI data centers I mentioned? Ecolab is the company that helps them drink responsibly while maintaining peak performance. Here's the connection most people are missing. Every single data center on Earth needs Ecolab's technology to manage its water consumption efficiently. As AI explodes and more data centers get built to support ChatGPT and every other AI system, Ecolab becomes essential infrastructure that can't be replaced. The third opportunity is Xylem, ticker XYL, and yes, it's literally named after the plant systems that transport water, which should tell you something about their laser focus. This stock is already up 12.9% in just the first half of 2025, and they're the smart water technology leader that's benefiting directly from the US $50 billion infrastructure spending on water systems. If you think of the water industry as a physical network of pipes, pumps, and treatment systems, Xylem provides both the brains and the brawn. They are absolute leaders in smart water technology that can detect leaks, optimize usage, and prevent water waste. Every dollar the government spends on water infrastructure flows directly to companies like Xylem. When cities start running out of water like Tehran is right now, they call Xylem to install smart monitoring systems that can detect problems before they become crises. Stock number 4 is my hidden gem. Explosive small cap play, energy recovery with ticker ERII. At a $772 million market cap, this company has huge upside potential because they make the secret sauce that goes inside desalination plants. While Consolidated Water builds the plants, Energy Recovery makes the proprietary pressure exchanger devices that make desalination actually affordable and energy efficient. They don't have to win the big construction contracts. They just need to sell their essential high-margin parts to whoever builds the plants. Energy can be up to half the cost of desalination, so ERII's technology is a total game changer, cutting energy use by up to 60%. Iran's crisis is literally their Christmas morning, because every desalination plant that gets built needs their proprietary energy recovery devices to operate efficiently. For those of you who want the lazy investor diversified approach, stock number 5 is the Invesco Water Resources ETF with ticker PHO. This is one of the oldest and biggest water-focused ETFs out there, with over $2 billion in assets under management. This ETF is already beating the S&P 500 in 2025, delivering an incredible 72.6% returns over the past 5 years. PHO holds a carefully selected portfolio of the top US-listed companies in the water business, including many of the names we've already talked about, like Ecolab and Xylem, plus other key players in water utilities, infrastructure, and technology. With one click, you get exposure to the entire water industry without having to pick individual stocks and risk getting one wrong. This is perfect for beginners or anyone who wants diversified water exposure without the single stock risk. Now, let me show you the technical analysis that has me extremely bullish on water stocks right now, because the charts don't lie. and they're screaming, buy. PHO just broke above the 200-day moving average with massive volume, which is a classic breakout pattern that typically leads to sustained upward moves. The RSI is sitting at 45, which means there's still plenty of room for this trend to run higher before hitting overbought conditions. The MACD just confirmed a bullish crossover, and volume is running 300% above average, which tells me institutional money is accumulating these positions aggressively, while retail investors are still sleeping on this opportunity. Here's the social proof that should make you pay serious attention to this water investment thesis. Warren Buffett himself said, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Well, the water shortage tree was planted years ago, with climate change and explosive population growth, and the shade is coming now. Just this week, I found reports showing that 30% of institutional water investors deployed over $500 million into water infrastructure projects. The smart money is already moving, and they're not waiting for CNBC talking heads to permit them to make these investments. But here's what really keeps me up at night thinking about this massive opportunity and why I'm so bullish on water investments for the next decade. We're not just talking about Iran anymore. This is a global mega trend that's accelerating everywhere you look. California is facing historic drought conditions that are getting worse every year. Cape Town nearly ran out of water completely in 2018 and barely avoided day zero. Chennai, a city of 12 million people in India, completely ran out of groundwater in 2019 and had to truck in water from hundreds of miles away. Australia has been dealing with severe drought conditions for years. This is a global pattern that's becoming the defining investment theme of the next decade, and the investors who position themselves now in water stocks are going to look like absolute geniuses in 2030, when water is trading like a commodity more valuable than gold. Don't be the person sitting on the sidelines watching water stocks go to the moon while you're still trying to time the crypto market or waiting for the perfect entry point that never comes. The Iranian water crisis is just the beginning of a global water shortage that's going to create massive investment opportunities for the next 20 years. Climate change isn't going away. Populations keep growing, and AI is consuming more water every single day. The currents of capital are flowing toward water investments, and the only question is, will you be positioned to profit from it? Here's exactly what you need to do right now if you want to profit from this crisis and position yourself for the water investment boom. First, smash that like button if you want more crisis profit plays like this one, because I've got a whole pipeline of geopolitical investment opportunities that Wall Street doesn't want retail investors to know about. Second, subscribe and hit the bell notification because water stocks are just the tip of the iceberg. I'm tracking energy shortages, food supply disruptions, and currency collapses around the world that are creating massive profit opportunities for smart investors who know where to look. Third, comment Water Gang if you're buying the dip on humanity's survival, and let me know which of these 5 stocks you're most interested in adding to your portfolio. The bottom line is this: when the world burns, smart investors earn. Human suffering creates investment opportunities, and while that might sound harsh, it's the reality of how financial markets work. The companies I showed you today are positioning themselves to solve humanity's water crisis while generating massive returns for their shareholders who had the vision to invest early. Remember, in crisis lies opportunity, but only for those brave enough to act while others panic. The water shortage isn't coming, it's already here, and the smart money is already positioned. The question is, are you going to join them, or are you going to keep waiting for permission to make money from the biggest crisis of our lifetime? Don't let this water opportunity dry up without you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay liquid, stay profitable, and keep stacking those water gains.
Stack it up real high. Come here to be in the know. Come here, enjoy the show. 'Cause it's Warren's money time.